Jimmy here today. It is the 9th of May. It's 11 o'clock and 11 minutes here in the Netherlands. Hope you guys are all doing fine. My last update was from 3 weeks ago. There wasn't much to update on in the last 3 weeks, and there was also a vacation period, so I fully enjoyed that vacation period. Although I was on vacation, I still shared a lot of alpha and a lot of insights on X. So if you're not following me on X, go and follow me on X on Twitter. So without further ado, let's do a very quick mini recap, and then I'm more than happy to share my plan. I will try to keep this video within the 10-15 minute range. Last time I was saying we might see a higher low in this structure because we can all see that this trend is actually a uptrend with a lot of ranging here and there. And here this is your higher low. For my homies with dry eyes and glasses and lenses, here is your higher low. Also, we talked about the major MAs and the EMAs. Look how Bitcoin comfortably is trading above these MAs. The orange one is the 50 EMA, and then we have the red line, the 12, the 21, and then the blue line, the 12. And so far, Bitcoin is holding quite well. This is now the third week, if we kind of close like this, that Bitcoin is trading above the 12 and the 21 EMA, which is a very good thing. Also, from an RSI perspective, the RSI on the weekly is above the 50 level. Normally, we could say that trading above the 50 level is where you want to have Bitcoin. Something below the 50 level on the RSI on the weekly doesn't show any good momentum or strength. I haven't tested this out yet, but hey, here you go. We might see a RSI breakout if Bitcoin is trading or is going to cross here above this 70 level. But for now, it's a little bit too early to talk about that. Also, this was my main thesis, my main chart, if you will. It's a 3-day chart. You could also do it on the weekly or the 1 day. Because this picture, this chart is telling us a story. What's the story here actually? It is this. Bitcoin, more often than not, is ranging as we have seen it here. Like literally 90% of all the time it's ranging, okay? So what happens when things are ranging, and this is a little bit trading psychology and market psychology, people are going to give up. They're expecting vertical moves, but also their patience and the discipline, it's kind of, it's depleting. And what happens when you don't have any patience more and no discipline more? People are gonna give up on crypto, especially, and I understand, especially the alts. I have to say something about the alts, but this is a very crystal clear picture. Bitcoin, more often than not, is in an uptrend through ranges. See a range, a rectangle, if you will, which is a classical pattern. See it as a continuation pattern. More often than not, it breaks to the side of where the trend is coming from. So if it is an uptrend, expect that the range, more often than not, is going to follow that uptrend. Also the other way around, by the way. But this time was a little bit different. We talked about this last week. 3 weeks ago. This is a range, but something happened here. There was no breakout. No, there was a breakdown. And then I told you guys, this breakdown is actually an expansion of this range. This is literally what I said 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Since this happened, that was my main thesis. So what does this mean? Okay, we have done the recap. What does this mean? It means like a few things. Bitcoin is about to revisit a major resistance zone. We got rejected here, and we might get another rejection there. It's a little bit too early to say if it will get rejected, yes or no. The trend is clear here, right? I mean, this is, quite a strong move, but we cannot ignore this resistance level. This is now the time where many of you, the majority on X, are getting too euphoric because Bitcoin is making moves. But if you see everything from a specific context, you just see Bitcoin heading towards a new resistance level, or I mean, an old resistance level. Yes, we could break out, and a breakout, just based on FIP extensions, and there are like a few instances where I use Fibonacci, to be honest, and this is for this reason, to see where Bitcoin could go if we're gonna break out from this rectangle. 140k ish, 138 to be more precise, but 138, 140 would be very, how do you call that, possible and reasonable. Like from a more classical perspective, if you measure this distance, add it here on top of the resistance. So this distance on top of this resistance level, it will bring us around 154k. So this tells me if we're gonna see a breakout, likely we might see Bitcoin trading between here, this zone. But for now, it's a little bit too early. I'm in a long position. I shared one of my setups a few weeks ago. I mean yesterday or 2 days ago. And I also want to share this with you. This is Bitcoin holding by category. You can find this data here on this website. I visualized this for you. So as of now, the ETFs are good for 1,339,000,000 Bitcoins. This is, by the way, worldwide Bitcoins, okay? The world is bigger than the US, although US is responsible for the majority lion's share of the ETFs, obviously. Then we have the countries, the public companies, the private companies, the mining companies, and DeFi. I really believe, and I truly believe, the trend is more ETF buyers and more countries, more public companies, more private companies. I believe these entities, if you will, these categories will accumulate more Bitcoin. This is another chart I would love to share with you. So as of now, based on the data I just shared with you with holding per category, 16.4% is surely owned by these, ETFs, countries, companies, and the majority not. So there's still a lot for them to accumulate Bitcoin. And I believe that alts, if we're gonna see an alt season, it will not be a very long-lasting alt season. I've been sharing this chart for a while, this bearish parabola, and I was waiting for Ethereum to trade 1 or 2, 3 weeks above this parabola. If we're gonna close like this, I can say with a certain certainty, or high certainty, or probability, sorry, that this parabola, bearish parabola, is over, is not valid anymore. We also see here an RSI breakout. As you can see, the bearish parabola was pretty aggressive, especially from this point to this point. And if we measure the RSI from that point to this point, we see a breakout, but the week is not closed yet. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. So let's wait for the weekly close. But 1, 2, 3, I should say 2, 3 weekly candles above that, outside of that parabola would be a very good sign. And also from a context perspective, this is actually a support zone. So yeah, the upside potential for Ethereum is pretty damn good. Oh, by the way, last week I asked people if you have any chart requests, drop them and I will cover them. So we got 2. Let's quickly dive into them very, very quickly. We have SPX6900. Honestly, I have heard, of course, of this altcoin, meme coin, probably. Never traded this. The fact is, this year alone, 95% what I traded was actually Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is easier to read. It's more liquidity. Not that I'm trading with a lot of capital, not at all actually, but it's just easier to read, and that's where my expertise is. My market reading skills on the Bitcoin chart is way better than alts in the last few months. So what do we see here? A downtrend, obviously, but then it was here as a now here we are seeing a ascending triangle with higher lows, and these are like equal highs. We might see a breakout. So what's next? Very difficult to say, to be honest. We also see our RSI breakout. If this continues, we might even tap a little bit lower. It could go higher, and based on the classical chart and techniques, you could say that the target for this pattern would be here around, previous all-time high, and it can happen very quickly. We have seen it here, but there was hype, right? We should not forget that the hype was here. But just to demonstrate, in 15 days, this SPX 6900 can make a very strong move of 150%. So if someone would ask me, oh, well, this bearish or bullish, I would say I'm a little bit, more neutralish. And if someone really would force me go long or short, probably I would go long on this one. Then we have Zeus. So one thing, how I use RSI. Look, if something is below the 50 level, it doesn't really demonstrate a lot of momentum. It's kind of, pretty weak. For Zeus, I would love to see the RSI crossing the 50 level and staying there for a few days. We might see a fake out like here, what happened here, right? Whoop. Also here. So because of that, at least I want to take out this RSI high from the 26th of April, or you could say taking out this high here. Again, I'm a little bit too neutralish on this. I'm not trading Zeus, but if someone would force me to trade this, I would say long with a stop loss. Somewhere around here, like 21 cent-ish. So this is, to me, this is a 280R distance, something like that. But again, I'm not funning here. It's just do not understand the fundamentals, the plan, and also I've been trading Bitcoin only actually this year. Hope it helped, by the way. If someone has more chart requests, drop them, and I will make sure to cover them this month. So we talked about Ethereum. This doesn't look bad at all. I haven't checked Ethereum against the dollar. Let's do that, okay? Yeah. ETH USDT. Look, what happened here? What happened here? Oh. What happened here? What happened here? Well, a few things what you really need to understand is this is a beautiful chart, but this was a key SNR level, right? This was a key SNR level of how many days? I mean, the more days, the more relevant it is. Almost 1,600 days. Man, this is like a multi-year SNR level. We've seen a breakout, very beautiful. Rejected here, rejected here, rejected here. You could see there's a triple top. Then price was pushed below this SNR level, and this was very concerning. But now we just need one good candle and it just boom pierced through this level without any consolidation below that key level. So this looks good as well. we have seen it before from that level to 2024 high. We just need 70 days. Here, more or less the same, or maybe a little bit longer, 90 days. Ethereum is a slow mover. But with that said, this doesn't look that bad as well. Now it's a little time to check the Bitcoin dominance. So this is the dominance without the stables. I find that this gives a more clear picture. I shared this a while ago. We see here what? What do you see here? We see here a good, good bearish divergence on the 2 weekly chart. We also see that the RSI crossing below the 70 level. This is a clear sign of exhaustion. The similar you can see on the weekly. Is it over? Could you say that this mega uptrend on the Bitcoin dominance chart without stables is over? No, way too early. Because listen, look what happened here. This was your alt season here, right? This was also a mini alt season. This was a mini alt season. This was a mini alt season. This was a mini alt season. Probably this not, but you just for now expect like a higher low, unless Ethereum really goes up and there's a lot of money inflow towards the the alt ecosystem. But for now, I do not see this. So I rather be more cautious than extremely risk on when it comes to alts. I hope I'm gonna change my mind, because that's the way how we make money, by trading altcoins. Here we have the father of all alts, or meme coins, I should say. I've been sharing this in the last 3 weeks. Pay attention. On Doge, this was actually a really good setup. Unfortunately, I haven't traded this myself since my since my focus was mainly on Bitcoin. So with that said, I am pretty optimistic for now. And again, Bitcoin is heading towards where? Towards this resistance zone, and this is a zone where you want to be a little bit more careful. Okay, this is not really a reason to ape into stuff. A reclaim of this gray level would be extremely good, but for now, resistance is resistance until it isn't. So stay patient, have a plan. Excuse me for my voice. If you enjoyed this update and this recap, hit the like button, share this with your friend. Until the next time, see you around. God bless.